Okay, so one of our customers reached out to us and he was having a problem with his chatbot. It was not responding as closely to what he wanted, okay? And this is a very easy fix. There are two solutions we are going to go over for this. And, it may blow your mind how easy it is to solve this in some ways. But first off, let's illustrate the problem. So we've got a chatbot here, and the way he was testing it is saying, where can I buy your products? And let's see how it responds. Okay, so not actually the ideal response. It's close, but it's almost kind of summarizing and not providing the full amount of information here. So let's go into the knowledge base. Let's see what he wanted it to respond as. So he wanted it to provide a response more close to this, right? With a little bit more information, closer to what he put in the Q&A section here. So the first solution, the first fix for this is actually very, very easy. I'm going to go to the update section. I will expand the advanced settings. And notice here, he's using GPT 3.5. Now, we recommend GPT-4 Turbo. And keep in mind, with these models, you don't want to cheap out on the model, especially if you're trying to do this as like a demo for a customer or even, obviously a real bot for them. You want to respond. You want it to be able to respond as intelligently as possible and to follow instructions as closely as possible. So we definitely recommend GPT-4 Turbo. And let me show you what happens if I just select GPT-4 Turbo. And you need to try all these models, to be honest. When you're testing this out, try each of the models and see how it works for you. Because if your use case is simple enough, perhaps 3.5 is good enough for you. But I would always just recommend going with GPT-4 Turbo, to be honest. And you can just pass that cost onto your customer and kind of recoup that cost. But let's see what happens. We're going to say, okay, let's use GPT-4 Turbo. I am going to click Update Chatbot. Let's go into the dashboard. Let's clear it. And then let's ask the exact same question and see if it's more closely aligned to what we want. And there we go. It's much closer to the actual answer. But this is only the first solution to the problem. Now, this use case is simple enough to where GPT 3.5 can probably be used. Now, but what's going on here? The problem is prompting is not an exact science, okay? If you don't, and you'll see what I mean in just a second here, but let's go and take a look at his prompt. So what he has put in here to try to address this is answer FAQs exactly how it is worded, right? Now to us, to me and you, that of course makes sense, but GPT 3.5 is, not as smart, doesn't follow instructions as well. It's actually a little bit more lazy than GPT-4 Turbo. So let's try some other wording here. The first thing I am going to do is select GPT 3.5. I will click Update. We're going to go back, and we're going to go back into the base system prompt. And let's reword this, because this is what you have to do. If it's not understanding what you're trying to tell it, then you need to try some additional things. So let me see here. Let's use the wording. Yeah. Okay, so let me have this ready to go. Instead of answer FAQs exactly how it is worded, let's say this. Answer with the exact wording we give you from the knowledge base. And let's go a little bit further than that, right? We know 3.5 is not paying attention, so let's make sure it knows that this is very important, right? So we can just put important. There's lots of ways you can call this out to the bot, but let's click Update Chatbot. Let's go back into the update. Let's make sure everything looks good. We've got 3.5 selected. We've got our new adjusted prompt here. So we should be good to go. Let's clear the previous chat. And then let me pull up that question again, which is where can I buy your products? Let's put that in here. And let's see what happens. Will 3.5 pay attention this time? There you go. So as you can see, much closer to the ideal response that the user originally wanted. And this is what I mean in all my videos. You have to play with the prompts. If at first it's not having the effect, it's not understanding, and you need to, change the wording a bit. And what I really recommend you do is you need to treat this and I don't want this to scare you guys, but because it's not scary, you're just writing a prompt, but you need to treat it almost like you're writing code. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you make one change and then you test it. Test and see how that change impacted what you're getting back from the chatbot, and then go and make a different change. And if you find that it's not getting the results that you expect, try something else. Try, GPT-4, the main GPT-4, not Turbo, but the actual smartest model. Try that. See if that fixes the issue. Try different wording. You really have to play around with these, but once you get your prompt and your model set up correctly, then you are good to go. And also definitely check out the video I have about debugging what is being sent to ChatGPT. And we can go over that very quickly. But if you go in here to the update section, and I believe it's already selected for this chatbot, but if you go and select debug mode, what that will show you is what results are actually being pulled from the knowledge base. And so let's copy this again one more time, and I'll show you that really quickly. So where can I buy your products? And then there's the response. Now let's see how the chatbot, the model, came up with this response. Well, if you scroll down here to the knowledge base results, this is actually the only result we sent to the model because he actually has the functionality prioritize Q&A results turned on. So it will only send this matching result. And as you can actually see, this was actually sent here to the model. And this is the information it's getting. But if you ever look at this and it's not what you expect, you need to figure out if bad data got into your data somehow, or if it's something else going on here. But this is how you use this debug mode. And this is exactly how you can adjust the chatbot's prompt to make the responses more like you're expecting. And feel free to reach out to us if any of you have any questions on this.